waiting for macro khilafah when Imam Mahdi comes. This is not a place where you will be opting out of jihad. Oh no. The baby boys who are born in this kampung will fight better on the battlefield from Khorasan in the Muslim army that will liberate the Holy Land. The baby boys born in this kampung will fight like lions, much better than yours from KLCC. So the Muslim kampung is not a place to go and sleep. Now then, we come to a very unfortunate event. One of the outstanding scholars of this age, and now my remarks are directed particularly to Pakistan. One of the outstanding Islamic scholars of this age was a man named Dr. Muhammad Iqbal. I recognize him as a great scholar, and I recognize him as a great poet. Unfortunately, my knowledge of the Farsi language and the Urdu language is not good enough to appreciate the beauty of his poetry. But I don't have any problems with his poetry. What the problems that I have is with what he has written in the English language. And I have more than a passing acquaintance with the English language. Dr. Iqbal argued in a book which he published entitled The Reconstruction of Religious Thought in Islam, which most Pakistanis have not read. And those who do try to read it probably give up before they finish 2 or 3 pages, because you need a whole bottle of Tylenol tablets for headache. Iqbal is writing pure philosophy. I have a master's degree in philosophy, and for me it's a headache, so much less for you. I admire the first 2 chapters a lot, because in the first 2 chapters of that book he takes on Dajjal. You know, the one eye and the 2 eyes, the epistemology of the modern West. And Iqbal has delivered the best defense of the epistemology of the Quran that has ever been written. But very few people can understand it. So those first 2 chapters are written in gold. But elsewhere, Iqbal has made this mountain of a mistake in declaring that the modern state, he calls it the Republican state. Actually, it's a secular state. The modern state, he says, can function as a substitute for the Khilafah. That's wrong. And if we say that our teacher made a mistake, we are not disrespecting our teacher. No. He still remains a great scholar. We still respect him. We are not disrespecting him when we say that this Iqbal has made a mountain of a mistake in declaring that the modern secular state with its parliament can be a substitute for the Khilafah. Iqbal then compounded that error by agreeing with Ibn Khaldun that all the ahadith on Imam Mahdi are all fabricated. Now don't come and tell me what Iqbal has said in Urdu poetry. No, don't come and tell me that. I know what he said in Urdu poetry. We're talking about what he said in English. And the impact of Iqbal's thought on the Pakistani intelligentsia. Iqbal does not believe in the return of Nabi Isa alayhi salam. No. Iqbal does not believe in Dajjal. No. I ask you, How can you beat the drums of Iqbal in Pakistan today to extricate Pakistan from the mess in which it is? He is not the answer. Yes, there is much we can learn from him. Yes, Iqbal can inspire our people with his Urdu verse. But Iqbal in English is not the guide to take the Pakistani people out of the awesome predicament in which they are. And so I wrote this book, Iqbal and Pakistan's Moment of Truth. I want the cameras to capture it. Because tonight in Masjid Al-Ihsan in Subanjaya, we are launching this book for the first time. It is only 84 pages, so you could finish it in one weekend. And in this book, I have attempted very respectfully, how many times am I to repeat it? I have attempted very respectfully to critically assess the thought of a great scholar and to point out errors which he has made, while yet respecting him as a great scholar. Now then, when Imam Mahdi emerges, at that time, the Gog and Magog war will take place. This book explains it. An Islamic view of Gog and Magog in the modern world, and one person will have to come forward and volunteer to translate it to Bahasa, inshallah. At that time, the clash takes place between the American-led alliance, the Russian-led alliance. The nuclear war takes place with thousands of nuclear weapons exploding. I think that will be the moment when this verse of Suratul Isra will be fulfilled. Suratul Isra, where Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala gives the warning, وَإِن مِّن قَرْيَةٍ إِلَّا نَحْنُ مُهْلِكُوهَا قَبْلَ يَوْمِ الْقِيَامَةِ أَوْ مُعَذِّبُوهَا عَذَابًا شَدِيدًا كَانَ ذَلِكَ فِي الْكِتَابِ مَسْطُورًا. It is as though you're hearing the verse for the first time, because you've never heard the verse in the context in which it's being given now. And not a single city will escape. None. They will all be destroyed, says Allah. All. And those which escape destruction will be punished with terrible punishment. And this is a matter inscribed in the Kitab. Maybe that if you're out of electronic range, you know, the cell phone, you will not be incinerated. This is the end of modern Western civilization dominance over the world. Maybe another 20-25 years, that's all we have to endure. This is the end of the modern secular state and all the patriotism it demands of us. And this is the time when Darul Islam will be restored, whether they like it or whether they don't. This is the time when the Khilafah will be restored. This is the time when Imam al-Mahdi will rule over us. The Shia who follow him at that time are our brothers. The Sunni who follow him at that time, I don't think there'll be many Sunnis following him. They will say, he's a terrorist. Our brothers. And so Shia and Sunni, both following the Imam, will constitute the Ummah of Nabi Muhammad alayhi salatu wasalam. When will that happen? How much time is there left? Let us attend to this and we'll then end the lecture. Imam al-Mahdi cannot emerge until Allah ordains that he must emerge. So no government has charge over this. When will Allah ordain that he must emerge? Because as soon as he emerges, He's going to head for Mecca, and he's going to proclaim himself the Imam. An army will then march against him from Sham. And that army, as it crosses Medina, going south to Mecca, will be swallowed by the third khas. One in the east, one in the west, one in Arabia. When that army is swallowed by the earth, that is the validation. That is the conclusive validation that this man is indeed the Imam. Not eclipses in the sky. The sinking of the earth. When that army sinks down into the earth and is swallowed, then the Abdal from Sham and Iraq will come to the Imam to offer bay'ah. The Sufis have hijacked this word, Abdal. So I got to take it back from them. I got to take it back from them. And they say that the Abdal are some mysterious people. There are always only 40 of them and so on, and they have the world in their hands and so on. No. Abdal means when one dies, another one replaces him. This one dies, another one replaces him. This one dies, another one replaces him. The Abdal. So if you're listening, Washington, let us introduce you to the Abdal. When you don't have any more money to buy white people from South Africa to go and fight for you in Iraq and in Afghanistan, you know, white South Africans. When you have no more money to offer bribes of green card and citizenship to get people to go and join the American army, to go and kill Muslims. You're running out of soldiers. I want you to know, Washington, that we will never run out. We will never run out. Because when one dies, another one takes his place. And when he dies, another one takes his place. These are the words of Muhammad alayhi salatu wasalam. These are the Abdal. So they are the Mujahideen who are waging a just struggle for liberation from oppression and liberation from occupation of the land. They will now come to give the bay'ah to Imam al-Mahdi. Imam will now be attacked from an army of the Quraysh, said the Prophet ﷺ. An army of the Kalb, and he will defeat that army. Would it be a Saudi army? Looks very much like that to me. Looks very much like that to me, but Allah knows best. When he defeats that army, then Jaziratul Arab, another term out of the cold storage. See, good thing we left the door open, eh? Jaziratul Arab, when last did you hear that term? Jaziratul Arab is the Arabian Peninsula. Today it has been hijacked, and there is an obnoxious name called the the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia. Squatting. So there will be no more Kingdom of Saudi Arabia. It is Jaziratul Arab will be restored. And when Jaziratul Arab is liberated, then Darul Islam is restored. This is the implication. Now tell me, would you release Imam al-Mahdi into the world when the Zionists have read all of these ahadith? They know it all. Would you release Imam al-Mahdi